Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about one of the most promising and empowering strategies when it comes to breaking the pattern of negative thoughts. This is called as reframing or rephrasing strategy. I have written about it at great length in my book Success at Your Doorstep. If you have a copy of that book, go through that section, do those very simple exercises, and I'm sure you are going to get immense benefit of being able to wipe off those unpleasant memories within no time. Those of you who do not have my book, please write to me at justwritewithhemant@gmail.com and I will let you know how to get a PDF copy of my book. So friends, before I explain to you about the reframing or relabeling strategy, let me give you a little bit of a background. An event happens and it goes off. After that event happens, it becomes a thing of the past. And we all know one good thing about past is that it is dead. It can never come back. But unfortunately, the memories of the event can come back into our present. And in fact, they do pop up and they keep interfering in our present day-to-day life. Now, the event which has happened and gone, it comes in the form of memories. Now, what are memories? Memories are either the images of that event or the sounds associated with that event or the feelings which we experienced at that point in time. And therefore, when you are reminded of a past event and when that event starts playing in your mind's eyes, it is as if it's happening now, because our subconscious mind does not make a difference between real and imaginary events or an actual event or a remembered event. And so, if the event is something which is not very pleasant, it has the ability to create the same unpleasantness even today, although the event may have happened many weeks or many months or many years in the past. So, I will give you an example about how this keeps bothering us in our day-to-day lives. A friend of mine had gone with his family on a tour to Europe. Unfortunately, on the very first day, he lost his baggage and he also lost his wallet, in which he had all the credit cards, the cash and everything else. And in addition to this, he lost his passports of the entire family. You can imagine what he must have gone through. The whole family was rattled. Somehow he managed to, recover from that shock, managed to get some money from his friends, bought some clothes and essential things from the shop, and somehow they completed the tour. But the memories of the tour were so very unpleasant that many times after the event, whenever my friend met me, he would always tell me about it in great details. And I said, somehow you have to get over this because it has happened and it has gone. Why you want to ruin your present? He says, I know I have to get over this, but I don't know how to get over this because these memories, they keep coming. And every time I think about it, it becomes all the more intense. And he even said that every time I decide to go on a journey or a holiday, I have that sense of trepidation and that sense of fear, apprehension. Now, if my friend is listening to this video, I'm sure if he follows some of the very basic steps, he should be able to overcome this nightmare of the past. Now, the thing is, there can be a good event and a bad event. I mean, the memories of the event could be joyous or sorrowful. The event could have been very empowering or debilitating. It could be something which was giving you a lot of strength or something which has sapped all that energy and enthusiasm out of it. So, the feelings and the emotions which we experience upon being reminded of that occasion is dependent on the label that we have put on that particular event. Naturally, when an event happens, we will label it saying it was great, or we'll say it was terrible, as in the case of my friend, or sometimes it was a great learning experience. So, the label that we have put on is directly bringing up those emotions and feelings into the present. And so, naturally, what it means is whenever we label something, we have to label it with care. Just like when we take some fragile stuff and at the airport they put a big label says handle with care. Our experiences in life are similar to that. We have to label our experiences with care. Now, the point is, if there is any unpleasantness or if any loss, whether financial or otherwise, is associated with a memory, then you have to go through it. No amount of philosophical talk can alleviate you of the burden of those memories, because you have suffered and of course you will have felt bad. But then there is a time when we have to really put it into the past, completely erase it and start living for the future, because a loss which happened once does not mean it's the end of the world. But if the event of the memory of that loss keeps coming into your consciousness every now and then it's as good as you are losing that money or having that unpleasant experience again and again every time you think about it. And this is very much detrimental to our psychological health, and our peace of mind, of course, is in jeopardy. Now, how we label depends on our preferences, our personality, our upbringing, and our overall perspective of looking at things. There are some people who always find faults with things. Even if there is a good event, they'll find faults with it. For example, there were two people who went to see Niagara Falls. So one of them, he was so impressed by the magnificence and by the colossal view of Niagara that he was completely overwhelmed. And he says, what a brilliant experience this is. Now there's another guy who looks at it and says, oh, Niagara Falls, what a terrible waste of water. Now the stimulus, the event is the same, but the response which you have from two different people is different, and it is based on your temperament, your personality, your outlook at looking at the things. And so it's always better to have a positive outlook towards things and try to find what is good about it. Of course, there are some the things are not very good. You will have to see what is the best that could be done out of it, how you can learn from it, how you can avoid those mistakes, and how you can avoid unpleasantness and carry on thereafter.